Welcome to the Mindset by Design podcast with your host, the expert Andy Murphy, where you will learn the tips, tricks, and strategies he teaches his world-class clients to give you the skills to dominate any business.
What's going on, Mindset by Design crew, and welcome to episode 235. Hope you're amazing as always. I really do. Do you know what? If you've had one of those dodgy weeks, as we say in the UK, one of those dodgy weeks, you know what they're like. Sometimes it's just ups and downs and chaos, and I love those weeks, to be honest. I don't love it while we're going through it. Definitely not that. But I always love it afterwards, because confusion, well, it leads to clarity. Think about that, right? Every moment in your life that you've ever been through in chaos, think about that, right? Could be, you might be going through it right now, but there's chaos happening. So what's going through your brain? Yeah, you're confused. You're confused about what path to take, if that person's telling the truth, if you trust yourself, if you get the idea, if the business model's working, if that whatever you're trying to build online is actually clicking, right? You don't have clarity. So you're in confusion. Well, I like it. I like it because over the years of being in a lot of chaos, putting myself in it, you know, I really know that when we go through the darkness, when we go through the chaos, when we go through those people letting us down or something failing, if you want to use that word, right? I don't like to use that word, but I'm just throwing it out there. It's a case of, it always leads to something different. It always leads to a new path, a new idea, a new person that you didn't even know existed and just appears. So confusion always leads to clarity. And clarity, well, guess what? It means that then as an entrepreneur especially, we can relax, right? We can let go. Because isn't it true that we only need like a little glimmer of hope? You know what I mean? We could be in the deepest, darkest crap, and all we need is a new idea, a new thought, a new bit of inspiration, and then suddenly, guess what happens? Yeah, we're off again, right? We get the dopamine flooded through our neurology, and we're going for it again. And so understand that's clarity. So instead of beating yourself up, right, or holding yourself back, or doubting what's possible, or questioning probably the system that you're even building, no, we need clarity. Clarity on that definitive purpose why you're building the thing, right? If you're building this for freedom, which most of us are, right? We're building this for freedom. Of course we're helping people. Of course we're helping people. If you're just chasing the money, man, you're going to be in a world of pain as you're going through this. I'm telling you. Because if you're chasing the money, let's just address this for a second. Yes, it seems like I'm going on a rant straight away. And if you're new listening to this podcast, we'll get into it in a few minutes. But the truth is, look, if you are building and all your focus is on making money, then, man, you're going to have a difficult time when the pressure comes. You know what I mean? Where something doesn't go quite right and you've still got to push through, or you've got to be massively creative, or you've got to look at a new income stream or the system. As you're going through all of these things, if your focus just is on money, well, man, you're going to have that resilience. Are you going to have that burning desire inside of you to actually get the project completed? Or are you going to be doing it Saturday morning, right? And all day Saturday? Probably not. And if you are, and you're listening to this going, Andy, I just want to make some cash, mate. I get it, right? I get it. And you will. And there's different ways we make money, right? We've got to look at the immediate income stream or the medium, or you get the idea. So if you're going through things right now and your focus is just on money, then you need to find the passion, the why. What are you building this for? And if you go, just money again, Andy, then, okay, you best be looking at how to connect this to purpose. Because if you're not, and you're just taking, man, I don't know, I believe in karma is going to slap you. But more importantly, the driver or the internal motivator inside of you isn't just going to be strong enough. And people feel that. People feel that right across the brand. You know, if you're helping or you're giving or you're taking, right? If you're just taking, I don't know, man. I think people these days can really pick up on it. Whether it's from so much social media, we're seeing some realism out there, especially through these stories and stuff, through Instagram and Facebook. I think the stories are cool because, you know, it shows a little bit more of people's personalities, and they've got to see them in a bit more truth. So money, back to that, money won't motivate you the same way as leaning in and going after and building a brand. And conversations for another time, right? But if you're in that confusion right now, understand that it's overwhelm, it's anxiety, it could be stress, could be, just fear, or you're focusing on the past, or your future vision is still connected to old beliefs from the past, or old fears, or old traumas, or old overwhelms, or old, you get the idea. So we've got to scratch all that, right? We do. And we have to come from a different perspective. And when we can do that, then, man, the business, we're just leaning in. You know, we're going after it. We're creating something special. And when we're creating something special in the world, then, you know what, you looking at your bank account and watching the money go down, well, that becomes secondary to you getting up, getting clear, bringing the team and bringing the mentor and bringing the information in, getting off your ass and going to build this thing, right? Because if you're leaning in so much, then you're not leaning back. And if you're leaning backwards, well, guess what? You're hesitating and you're in fear and you're going to distract yourself. You're going to be, procrastinating. You get the idea. But if we're leaning in, man, what does that mean? Leaning in is everything. Leaning in. I just did a video about this and actually posted it in the Facebook incubator group. But leaning in, we have a different set of beliefs and expectations and motivation. And I want you to really know that leaning in, it's everything. Which means we get creative. What else does it mean? It means that we're not just getting creative. It means that we're going to get results because we're going to be relentless. And relentlessness is what it takes, right? And I don't mean every day being relentless. No, something I'm going to talk about today, which I feel is a monster part of business. And also Jeff Bezos agrees with me, or I agree with Jeff Bezos, probably more like it, right? Intuition. Intuition is everything in business. I shouldn't say everything, but it is kind of everything. It's connected with your mindset, obviously. It's connected with your nervous system. It's connected with alignment. It's connected with, how your brain is put together in the neuroscience aspect. But there is real truth to understanding your intuition. And I really believe it's one of the most overlooked aspects of building a business. But the higher level people you speak to and work with, you understand that's really, they're making logical decisions, of course, but it's driven by intuition to lead them up to that opportunity that allows them to make that logical decision. Make sense? This really all should be in the episode, shouldn't it? You know? I'm actually probably going to cut these intros down. Although they're full of awesome content, some people skip over them because they think I'm just pitching stuff. I ain't pitching nothing. You can do stuff or not do stuff. But definitely not. I want to make sure that everyone gets the content in the main episode. So I'm going to shorten these intros down. I'm going to put all of this content just in the main episode to make sure, I help more people, right? So has my rant helped at all? I don't know. I'll listen to your feedback. What I was actually going to do is give you a quote. I'm going to give you a couple of quotes, and that was what I was going to start with. But hey, we go on different tangents, don't we? So this is a quote by Bradley Whitford. Infuse your life with action. Don't wait for it to happen. Make it happen. Make your own future. Make your own hope. Make your own love. And whatever your beliefs, honor your creator, the universe, right? Not by passively waiting for grace to come down from up above, but by doing what you can to make the universe work for you. Like it? I like it. So, good, better, best, never let it rest till your good is better and your better is best. St. Jerome. I love that quote, right? Think about it again. It's cheesy, it's old, but it's a goodie. Good, better, best. Right? What does that say? That we have to naturally progress. We get good at something, then we get better at it, and then we become the best at it, okay? So till your good is better and your better is best. Just a natural progression. So this last one, these are interesting quotes, eh? Believe in yourself. Have faith in your abilities. Without a humble but reasonable confidence in your own powers, you cannot be successful or happy. I'll read it again. Norman's on this. Norman Vincent Peale. Believe in yourself. Have faith in your abilities. Without a humble but reasonable confidence in your own powers, you cannot be successful or happy. Make sense? I love those quotes. Because this is about growth, right? And it's also about internal work. I mean, there's so many systems out there, and that's what they teach. They teach constant external, the next strategy, the next system. But it's all mechanics. But the mechanics don't work if you're not driving the mechanics right. If you don't know how to operate the machine, it doesn't matter how many mechanics or funnels or systems or whatever the hell you're building. It doesn't matter about any of it if you aren't able to drive the machine. Makes sense? So I'm going to jump into the episode in a second, but speaking about driving the machine, I created this exclusive training. It's brand new for one reason. I just want to help you. That's it. And if you're building any business online and the idea is to be able to get freedom, and you want to make your mind stronger, or you want to know why you can't get this business working right, then guess what? You need to go and watch this training. It's pretty cool. I think you'll enjoy it. I really do. And I know that you're going to get a ton of value from it. I make it fun. I make it technical, but I also make it simple. And you haven't seen this training before because it's brand new. So in the show notes, you're going to see a link. It's free, it's exclusive, and it's how to get any business that you're building profitable, but without changing anything about it. And if you think that you know what I'm going to tell you, you don't. So do something different today and go and click that show notes and watch it. It's like 60 minutes long. You'll love it. You'll love it. The other thing is, well, I've reduced it, but I'm taking one person on a month. One person as a private mentor or a mentee with me, and that's it. We work together through the 4 weeks, 6 weeks, or we do a 90-day, basically immersion with each other. And over that time, the goal is to take you to a whole new different place in your business, a whole different new place in who you are, and a whole different new place in your life. I want money pumping in, I want your business to be working, and I want you to understand everything that you need to be able to control your brain, right? Your mind, the emotions, to create the results that you want. And that's why I'm here, right? Done this for tens of thousands of people, every different level you can imagine. You know my testimonials. Go and click them. You know, go on mindsetbydesign.co/testimonials. You'll see them, you know? So that's the level of people I've worked with, right down to someone who's just got an idea who wants to get it out to the world. So if that sounds like you, then let's have a chat, okay? You have to apply because, as I say, I can't take everyone on. My time is limited. That's why I've put free trainings out. That's why I do the podcast. That's why I run the incubator group. That's why I'm all over the place with videos. Why? To help you, right? But if you resonate and you really want to get mentorship of someone who's kind of been there and done that for 17 years, then let's have a chat, right? If it's right fit, it's right fit. If it's not, guess what? We make friends. So hit those show notes up. Lots of links in there, social media links, ways to improve yourself, free stuff, paid stuff. Just go and check it out. I know you'll love it. All about making you into an amazing version of you so you can have one thing. One thing. What is it? What is it, Andy? Freedom. You want freedom. Freedom from bosses, freedom from time worries, freedom from money worries. You want freedom and you want it now. And that's what I want to help you get. So I'll shut up, hit those show notes, and I will jump in to what? Yes, the main episode. And I will see you at the end of the show. Okay, crew, so let's settle down. I haven't done this one in a while. Let's imagine we're having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and we're just relaxing. So we're just going to have a chat, hang out for a bit. And let's talk about business. Let's talk about intuition in business. And what the heck is intuition? Why am I talking about it? Why is it relevant to making cash? And what's it got to do with Jeff Bezos and Forbes? Well, there you go, right? So I'm going to cover both of those things. I've got an awesome Forbes article I want to, use as a little base. And then we're going to show you some clips from Jeff Bezos. Because the thing is, and this is something we're coming out with a friend of mine who's been on the podcast, Sean Wells, Hustle and Flow. Because the thing is, everyone's taught about the grind. But when you truly look at the definition of the word grind, it's not something you want to be doing, okay? So you're going to be quite shocked, literally quite shocked, if you haven't seen this interview with Jeff Bezos. Again, richest man in the Western world. I say the Western world because there's no way he's as rich as the Saudis and no way he's rich as oil money. It isn't even in the same category. But, hey, Forbes in that class him as what? Well, the richest man in the world. If you can hear drilling again in the background, I apologize. That's just where we're living right now. They're doing some construction. But I wanted to get this episode out for you. So, again, richest man in the world. Quick point. I saw a documentary and it broke down all the billionaires and the wealthiest people in history. And did you know they looked at Solomon back in the day? Solomon, we've all heard of Solomon, right? He was supposed to be worth, in today's money, equivalent to $400 billion. That's a lot of cash. I really think that there's people richer than that. But they're probably not going to want too much press about it, right? Anyway, intuition. The question I'm proposing, is intuition the highest form of intelligence or even a form of intelligence? It's a concept that I really want to play with and ponder around. And it's also a concept I'm going to bring out because I really believe that the biggest thing that's kept me going over the past 17 years and probably way before, right, is this inner guidance system, as I call it. And this is the thing that's brought me into problems in business. It's also the things that's brought me amazing things in business. It's the thing that's created an amazing life for myself, that I'm able to live wherever I want in the world. And it's all by intuition. But I really believe that it's one of the most overlooked or unspoken concepts, yet we all live by it. We all know, it's our gut feeling, my gut feeling, right? We all say these things, and we've all lived by these things, and we've all think about the past where we didn't listen to our gut feeling. Did it ever work out? Well, probably not, right? I know it didn't for me. So this is a great Forbes article by Bruce Kasanoff. And I really like it, There's lots of principles that I will enhance on. But it's a solid little article. And this is what it says. Intuition argues good guys in them. A director at the Max Planck Institute of Human Development is less about suddenly knowing the right answer and more about instinctively understanding what information is unimportant and can thus be discarded. Going to pronounce his name terribly wrong. This is part of having dyslexia sometimes, especially on a Friday when I'm recording this. Geigenheiser, author of the book Gut Feelings, The Intelligence of the Unconscious, says that he is both intuitive and rational. He says, in my scientific work, I have hunches. I can't explain always why I think a certain path is the right way, but I need to trust it and go ahead. I also have the ability to check these hunches and find out what they are about. That's the science part. Now, in my private life, I rely on instinct. For instance, when I first met my wife, I didn't do calculations, nor did she. I'm telling you this because recently one of my readers, Joe, posted a question that stopped me in my tracks. What about intuition? Has it ever been titled a form of intelligence? But would you think that someone who has the greatest intuition in things has more intelligence? Think about that. I love that, right? I love that. Because I really believe that when we heighten our senses, we become really, we kind of unlock deeper levels of what we respond to. Right? It's like someone who's blind. They say the hearing increases, whether that's true or not, or we're not using a certain part of our brain, so we use our focus, which means that we focus in on their hearing, which means it becomes more heightened. Well, I really believe that's the part of life, is the intuition. We have to stop the noise of our brain, of the future and the past, the future and the past, future and the past, to be able to tune into ourselves internally and our intuition, which guides us, right? It brings images in, all the rest of it. We're on the same page? Good. That wasn't him. That was me, by the way. So he says, my gut instinct is to say yes, especially when we are talking about people who have already intellectual curiosity, rigorousness in the pursuit of knowledge, and willing to challenge their own assumptions. Let me put this a bit simpler. If all you do is sit in a chair and trust your intuition, you're not exercising much intelligence. But if you take a deep dive into a subject and study numerous possibilities, you are exercising intelligence when your gut instinct tells you what is and isn't important. In some respects, intuition could be thought of as a clear understanding of a collective intelligence. For example, most websites are today organized in an intuitive way, which means they are easy for most people to understand and navigate through. This approach evolved after many years of chaos online, for sure it did, as a common wisdom emerged over what information was noise and what was essential. So Theo Humphreys argues that intuitive design can be described as understandable without the use of instructions. Pretty cool, right? I like that. Understandable without a use of instructions. I like that. Simple, right? This is true when an object makes sense to most people because they share a common understanding of the way things work. So you might say that I'm a believer in the power of disciplined intuition. Do your legwork, use your brain, share logical arguments, and I'll trust and respect your intuitive powers. But if you merely sit in your hammock and ask me to trust your intuition, I'll quickly be out the door. I love that. He says, from his personal experience, the more research I do, the better my intuition works. Although this is a paraphrase of his thoughts on the subject, Albert Einstein has been widely quoted as saying, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten about the gift. Makes sense, right? The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created society that honors the servant and has forgotten about the gift. That's the intuitiveness, right? So we've all gone to really ego-based accumulation or logical processes, or we've really connected with the left brain side of us, right? So it's processes, systems, right? That's how the monetary world works. That's how everything works in modern day society. But I really believe through I don't know, it's through meditation which is taken over, or you've got psychedelics that have taken over, or you've got a deeper, even the cannabis industry, right? It all makes people internally introspective, which means they can start to tune into a side of them that they didn't know existed. If you've meditated for diligently for like a few months, you feel the difference. You feel the difference after a week, right? And then you don't do it, and then you realize you're all messy again, and you go back to it. But when you start to understand that inner peace inside of you, man, that's everything. It's everything. So go back to Albert Einstein's, right? The intuitive mind is a sacred gift. Well, when we're in that place, when we're in that peace, it's like ideas flow to us. It's like our minds aren't going future past, and we can just ideas or concepts, or we overhear things, they just appear like out of magic. Same with people. The best people in your life, or best business deals, or best opportunities will be the ones that just like magically appear. Am I right? I'm right. I know I'm right, because from my own experience, from dealing with tens of thousands of people, and I bet you're nodding your head, right? So sometimes a corporate mandate or group think or your desire to produce a certain outcome can cause your rational mind to go in the wrong direction. At these times, it is intuition that holds the power to save you. That bad feeling gnawing away in you is your intuition telling you that no matter how badly you might wish to talk to yourself in this direction, into this new direction, it is the wrong way to go. The thing is, smart people listen to those feelings, and the smartest people among us, well, they're the ones who create intellectual leaps forwards. You cannot do this without harnessing the power of intuition. And that's the end of the article, and obviously my 2 cents worth, but I really believe it's true. I really believe that one of the secret things behind creating successful business is, well, one, knowing when you're heading down the wrong path. And if you're pulling yourself from ego, which is fear, which is accumulation or chasing the money like I was talking about before, or heading towards like, I want that house, well, that's kind of a shitty way to live, isn't it, you know? Because I know inside of you, you're longing for more. And if you're scaling your business right now and you're hitting plateaus, whether you're building the course, whether you're in it, or whatever the heck it is, right? Whatever level you're at, it could be thriving, but you want to take it to the next level. Well, the truth is, probably what got you there isn't going to get you where you want to go. Often in the early stages of business, what I've found is that people really get results by ego, meaning they push away from the past, and the past is full of fear, the past is full of mistakes, but they push away from it and they do whatever it takes to drive away from it. It works. But what does it work? It works for a while. And then when you've hit that level of success or freedom or safety, what happens then is the same driver isn't going to drive you forwards. Not always this is the case, but often this is the case. So if that driver isn't going to drive you forwards, then what we're looking for is a deeper level of, like knowledge. And that knowledge isn't going to come from anywhere but inside of you. You know if something feels horrible. You know if here's my little system. How many times, right, have you gone to, maybe someone's invited you for coffee or lunch or something, right? And you're like, I've got to go. You know, this person can do this for me, open this door for me. You know, you can get something, right? But your intuition, meaning your gut, is going, bleh. Do you like that noise? Bleh. But you know what feeling I mean, right? that feeling of just ickiness, that feeling of your stomach churning. And it's like, it doesn't feel right. Well, my wisdom around this, it's not right. Don't do it. Because those are the meetings that you come out of, and what happens? Yeah, the other person's just full of energy and happy, and you feel drained. That's the same with business. Actually, it's the same with life. And I want you to start really tuning in and getting used to this feeling, trusting your heart. Your heart is where, you get pulled to do something. It's exciting. You're into it, And then it's just about you growing, expanding, and getting that skill set and getting that mindset, right? So I'm going to play a cool little clip. And it's by the one and only Jeff Bezos. It's an interview he did, and I absolutely love that because he talks about doing business the opposite of everybody else, right? The opposite of people like Gary Vaynerchuk, the opposite of people who are telling you to grind, the opposite of people who are nowhere near even the concept level of where he is at and are doing life so differently. He is in a constant state of flow. He is not beating himself up. He is not grinding. And he's enjoying the life process on the way. That is why his brand is the biggest in the world. Think about that, right? Think about that. So I'm going to play this clip. It's only a short one because I've clipped it out. I've clipped the clip out of a big, long, hour-long interview.
We'll wander a little bit too. So we have some very specific ideas of what we want to do, but I believe in the power of wandering. All of my best decisions in business and in life have been made with heart, intuition, guts, not analysis. When you can make a decision with analysis, you should do so. But it turns out in life that your most important decisions are always made with instinct, intuition, taste, heart.
Interesting, hey? What would happen if you started to live your life more that way? And you might be going, Andy, I already do. Then that's cool. What would happen if you 100% trusted it? Well, people like Jeff are, so we probably got to start listening. And when we can really understand that this is the only thing we truly need to know, let me explain. Now, I'm not saying you don't need tactics and skills and techniques and tools and all of the things to control your mind. Of course you need that. And of course you need business systems. And of course you need mentorship. And of course you need networks. And of course you need all of this other stuff. But what would happen if you just tuned in? Let me tell you a quick story. A long time ago now, I'm getting old. A long time ago now in New Zealand. So we're going back 13 years or so, right? I knew a guy. I used to call him Terry the hippie. Proper hippie. But I learned so much from him. And one of the things I learned was he said this to me. And apologize if I've said this before on the podcast, but he said to me, do you know what? You don't need to know anything. And I said, what the heck are you talking about, man? And he gives it, listen, if you didn't have any information about how the world works, you didn't have any business knowledge, didn't have any money, but you were so in tune with your own intuition that you could walk down the street and those moments where you see someone and for some reason you feel a pull, for some reason you feel connected, for some reason they stand out from the crowd. What would happen if you just went over and spoke to them? There's a reason that your intuition's pulling you towards them. And we don't know what opportunities, who they know, what ideas they might open. But guess what? Most people, including myself, don't really do that. Right? We see that person, it's like, oh, well, what's that? And then we carry on with our day. But the truth is, what Terry was saying is that if you just trusted your guidance system, your intuition, your gut feeling, your instincts, and you went over and spoke to that person would connect you to the next stage, the next stage, the next stage, the next stage in the journey in life, ideas, concepts, income streams, business. Makes sense. Now, is he right? I don't know. Go and test it, right? Go and test it and let me know, because I know that's how I was living in Bali. Here's another story. I got a few, right? I was living in Bali, and I left Bali within, I think, a week or 2 weeks of making a decision. And the reason I made the decision to leave was that, I don't know, everything was good. I was planning on staying there a long, long time, and just those things started to disrupt. You know, this person started to become annoying, or like the things that I found beautiful weren't as beautiful anymore. And I just, you know, it was even a case of, because I was seeing clients at like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and my next door neighbor would be like sending me texts, "Can you keep it down?" And it's like, I'm just doing a session over here, mate. I'm pretty loud. But things like that start to light up and make you think. They make you change perspective. They make you look at things a different way. And then I tuned into my intuition and I said, oh, it's time to go. And people were like, what are you talking about? It's time to go. Aren't you living here? And I said, yeah, but it's time to go. And it was time to go, looking back. And I went to California, went to the UK, then went to Florida. And then, you know, there was lots of things happened in that next like 3, 4, 5, 6 months. I actually, you know what? I actually launched this podcast in that period. I did. I launched Mindset by Design when I came back from Bali and I visited the UK, and my grandparents were passing, and I was there for quite a few months. And it was time to go, because you know what else happened? I met my girl. Yeah. All in the same space. If I'd have been in Bali, if I'd have not trusted my intuition, I could have been with the wrong person, doing the wrong thing. Funny how intuition works. So what would happen if you just started living more like this in your business? The same, bringing on a business partner, creating a business deal. Or, do you know what I mean? What would happen if we trusted our instincts so much that we got rid of that noise or that doubt or that self-questioning or that hesitation that's in our brain? Do you think life might be different? Damn right it would be different. So if we're listening to the richest man in the Western world to give us this advice, dude, probably want to implement it. Hopefully this is ringing true, because everything I'm really about is creating a little bit of disruption. Do you know what I mean? Going against the grain, because like everything, the society, marketing, everything just follows, I don't know, they follow the trend. You know what I mean? Everyone's buying real estate because the real estate's going up. So everyone buys and then it crashes and everyone's sad. But guess what? The people who made all the money, yes, they bought early, they waited, and then they sold early when everyone was still buying, and then they waited for it all to crash, and then they bought. It's the opposite from what everyone's being taught. And this goes through everything in life, including the next clip I'm about to play by Jeff again. Now, what he talks about is, again, getting 8 hours sleep. Yes, 8 hours sleep. About pondering in the morning. Not just like getting up and having coffee and going out angry and let's go and get it. Rah! Right? Everything's taught like that. We'll go back to Gary Vee again. I love Gary. I do. I think he's amazing. But again, it works for some people, but who am I going to go to? Am I going to go to someone who's worth, I don't know, a lot of money? I'm not saying he's not worth a lot of money, but I don't know. Jeff seems much more content and happy and definitely healthy than somebody like Gary Vee. They do. I don't know. I'm going to listen to someone's worth billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars, not somebody else. And I'm just using Gary as an example. I mean, this is the trend again, right? The trend, the grind. Let's push the grind. Let's go at the grind. I got 4 hours sleep. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And the truth, I don't know if it creates a balanced life. I don't know if balance is even a thing if you're trying to achieve what you want to achieve. But Jeff Bezos seems to have achieved this. So I'm going to listen to that, or at least take pieces of that, test them, try them out, and see if they are more effective for my own peak performance. Because if they're not, and you're a 4-hour person, then carry on, right? I'll see you in 5 or 10 years and ask you the same thing. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. But for you, it is all about seeing what works for you. And if you're listening to this podcast, then you're used to me, right? And if you're not used to me, then you probably haven't listened to enough episodes, or you've not joined me on Facebook, or you've not been on the masterclass training, or you've not found who I am, right? I try to speak the truth. And I try to speak the truth even if somebody else says it's utter BS. It doesn't matter to me. So the next clip is only a 2-minute clip, but I really, really like it. And I know you will too.
You sit around with your team and so forth, but you don't like meetings before 10 a.m.
No.
You like to get 8 hours of sleep, and you don't like PowerPoints. Explain all that. Why is that?
Okay. So I like to putter in the morning. I get up early. I go to bed early. I get up early. I like to putter in the morning. So I like to read the newspaper. I like to have coffee. I like to have breakfast with my kids before they go to school. So I have my kind of puttering time is very important to me. And so that's why I set my first meeting for 10 o'clock. I like to do my high IQ meetings before lunch. Like anything that's going to be really mentally challenging, that's a 10 o'clock meeting. And because by 5 p.m., I'm like, I can't think about that today. Let's try this again tomorrow at 10 a.m. And so then on sleep, I get 8 hours of sleep. I prioritize it, unless I'm traveling in different time zones. Sometimes it's impossible, but I am very focused on it. And for me, I need 8 hours of sleep. I think better. I have more energy. My mood is better, all these things. And think about it. As a senior executive, what do you really get paid to do? As a senior executive, you get paid to make a small number of high-quality decisions. Your job is not to make thousands of decisions every day. Is that really worth it if the quality of those decisions might be lower because you're tired or grouchy or any number of things? Now, it's different if it's a startup company. I mean, you're really, when Amazon was 100 people, it's a different story, but Amazon's not a startup company, and all of our senior executives operate the same way I do. They work in the future, they live in the future. None of the people who report to me should really be focused on the current quarter. I always tell people, sometimes we'll have a good quarterly conference call or something, and Wall Street will like our quarterly results, and people will stop me and say, congratulations on your quarter, and I say, thank you. But what I'm really thinking is, that quarter was baked 3 years ago. Right now, I'm working on a quarter that's going to reveal itself in 2021 sometime. And that's what you need to be doing. You need to be out sort of, 2 or 3 years in advance. And and then why do I need to make 100 decisions today? If I make like 3 good decisions a day, that's enough. And they should just be as high quality as I can make them.
Like that clip? Love that clip. And you might be going, Andy, yeah, but I don't have 100 employees in my business. Right. But guess what? He's talking about working, not many hours a day, 7 hours a day. But as you grow and stuff, you're going to have to put some hustle in, some hours. But what I want you to take away from that is, one, he prioritizes sleep, right, which is huge. He potters around in the morning, which is interesting. And thirdly, it's high-level decisions. Because we can make 1,000 decisions a day, sure, but are they the right ones? Right? And if we're tired, I don't know about you. If I'm tired, I'm not happy, right? I'm grumpy. I'll be reactive. I can even be angry at myself, frustrated. I'm not making clear, precise, effective, needle-moving decisions. So I can become overwhelmed, I get anxious, all the things that human beings do. So I want you to really look at this, because I'd prefer to model someone whose business is booming than someone who's not. Now, again, we talk about the employees. He's talking about thousands and thousands of employees. And he's talking about high-level executives living in the future. Now, there has to be as we're growing, there has to be a way for you to design the future, pop your head up, keep looking at the future, make sure what you're doing now is in alignment with you, and then get back down into the details, right? So if you get back down into the details and you're keeping your eye on the future and you've designed where you want to go because you know it's in alignment with you. Why? Because you know you're connected to your intuition and you're serving a purpose rather than just what we go back to the start, just making money and accumulating. Then guess what? That future is going to be exciting. Which means we're going to get nice, big, massive dopamine spikes every time we think about it, which means that we're going to be pulled organically and naturally into the future to create the result that we want. Does that make sense? Good. So the whole point in this whole, I was going to call it session, but episode today is to show you a different way. To show you a different perspective, to show you something you might have naturally been doing, but now we want to make you consciously aware of it, okay? So you become consciously aware of these patterns or your behaviors or the way you've made decisions. What we're doing is switching on the 8-figure thinker you, the world-class you, the giving you a mindset by design, right? All of these brands I've made for a reason. And so for you, I just want you to be aware that pushing forwards, not sleeping, not eating, just driving forwards, punishing yourself in some ways is not the way to create a thriving business. It's a way, I suppose, you might be going, and yes, it is. Lots of people have done that and they created brilliant businesses. Okay, but guess what? There's a compromise and there's a compensation for that. There's an effect of that, and the effect is health issues, relationship issues, contentment, happiness. It's longevity. There's so many other things. Now, do I believe in balance? I don't necessarily believe in balance, but what I do believe in is focus on key areas of your life that are going to create the biggest leverage in you moving forwards for your happiness, for your abundance, for even your legacy, if that's where you're at, you know? And if that's you, then we can do it a different way. Make sense? So now, once we got the intuition dialed in and we teach you techniques and tools to, one, actually install the right version of you into your business with the right confidence, the right belief, the right focus, being able to extend your focus from 20 minutes to 3 hours. Would that be beneficial, right? Being able to, instead of when you get let down or something goes wrong, instead of going into a low, we use it and we expand instead. Would that be helpful? Yeah. Being able to sit down at your desk and step into a flow state. Would that be helpful? Yeah. Would being able to switch on creativity when you decide to, so you can see a different way or a different income stream or a different perspective over expanding your business or getting it started, or would that be helpful? Right. These are all the things that you've got to do inside of you. And this is the mindset stuff. Skill set, mindset together create, what we want. And adding the intuition now changes the whole game. So, crew, there we go. The end of episode 235. I could keep going on for a few hours about this, but what I prefer is some questions about this. And I'd love to get those questions inside the Facebook group. I'd love to get those questions through email. I'd love you to go and write me a little review on, wherever you want, right? iTunes is probably a good place. But you're on iTunes, Spotify, wherever. You can write a review wherever you want. I'd love you for it. And speaking of loving you for it, I just want to help. I want to help so much. You have no concept of what this means to me in my life to make sure that you're living an abundant, incredible life with a thriving income stream and business. And so no matter what level you're playing at, guess what? Right now, if you're building an Amazon business, consulting business, coaching business, ad agency business, if you're in sales or building anything online whatsoever to create one thing, which is freedom for yourself, and you're not getting the results that you want, then I'm telling you, I've put together an exclusive brand new training that you have not seen, and you need to go and watch it. It's going to help you out massively. The other thing is, I take on one, maybe two if they're the right people, but really one person every single month to come on mentoring. It would be, get mentored by me. This is about business mentoring, mental performance mentoring, whatever it is to give you the life and business that you want. Well, guess what? I've done it for tens of thousands of people, some of the best in the world, and I really just choosing the right people. Yeah, the right people to help. That's like my little bit of charity, but it's also, guess what? You're going to have to apply. It's not available for everybody. I don't have enough time for everybody. But if you're passionate, you're resonating with this, and you're ready to invest in yourself, let's have a chat. It's a right fit. Beautiful. It's a right fit. So hit those show notes up, and much love. Keep kicking ass. Share this podcast with someone. Write me a review. And until the next time, much love. And oh yeah, one more thing. Why don't you smile for me?
Thanks so much for listening to today's episode of the Mindset by Design podcast with your host and NLP expert, Andy Murphy. We'll catch you next time.